Welcome back, Savages, to another video. So this is part 2 of the KS0 Ultra setup video. So in the previous video we got it all set up and running and mining, and it's working fine. I'm getting about 400 gigahash a second, which is good. However, the temperature is very hot. As you can see on temp 1 it's about 86 degrees and neither of the fans have kicked in. So I'm a bit concerned about that. So because I'm going to be having this running in a shed, I want to make sure those temperatures are cool. Not really bothered about the hash rate too much, so we're going to be putting a cooling strategy in place. I've just been monitoring the temperatures just before I set off to put the cooling solution in place and did a quick refresh of the page. Temperature 1 is still around about 85 degrees C, but it looks like both fans have kicked in. So I think just generally the unit itself likes to run hot if you want those high gigahash rates. So for me, that temperature is still too warm. I'm going to have it in a shed, so it's going to get warmer on certain days as well. So I'm going to go ahead and add a cooling solution. Let's go. So in terms of cooling, these are the parts we're going to be using. So first of all, we've got a 3D printed shroud right here. We'll get a 120mm fan, one of these, to go on the back of this. I've got some base plates as well, which are like mesh style right here. This should improve airflow coming through the unit. So at the moment, we've just got these solid plates on here. I'm going to replace them with that. So that should help keep temperatures cool. So in terms of the fans, we're going to be using 2 of them. And the ones I've gone for are AC Infinity ones. Don't worry about the items, I'll leave links in the description afterwards where you can get these from. But these are USB powered and very good quality. So you get all the connections. The beauty of these is because I'm going to be using solar power, when I switch it back on I need a manual switch to set the speed. These actually come with a manual speed selected on there, so you've got low, medium and high or off. So we can just set that to what we want. So it doesn't matter whether the miner goes off overnight and then comes back on in the morning, it's always going to be running at the same speed. And we can adjust this depending on what temperatures we see. So one of these is going to be strapped to the side of the KS0 Ultra, whereas the other one is going to go on the end of this shroud. So this is the AC Infinity fan. In the box you get a cable tie and a sticker. That's the fan itself. And I've just unravelled it. So you've got one small end right near the fan, which is like a USB extension right there. On the other end you've got a good length of cable with a regular USB connection. That's the one we're going to be using. And you've got a little controller right there where you can have different speeds. So you've got off, low, medium and high. So as mentioned, one of the fans, that one right there, is going to go on here. So I'm going to get this connected up. So just some info on how we're going to connect this AC Infinity fan to the shroud. The AC Infinity fan has got these rubber stands on both sides and a mesh guard like that. So what I've done is I've taken the feet off on the back end and also the mesh guard. And the plan is just to connect it to that. And what we're going to do is just use these existing screws, these ones here, and come in from this side here to attach it to the fan. So there we go, we've got the fan connected to the shroud. I've got to say it's an absolute brilliant fit. You can see the screws have gone in perfectly right there, so we've just reused the ones that were on the rubber feet right there and they've gone in nicely. So the plan is we'll basically just have this on this end right here of the Ultra. So this is the power cable and that's going to come out of that hole right there. So this will push air into the miner and come out the other side where the Ethernet cable is. So now what we're going to do is undo the sides and put these mesh guards on here. So to get these plates off right here and on this side, I had to take 4 screws off on each side, but I also had to take the top off as well. There's 6 screws on the top. But while we're here, we might as well have a little look inside. So those are your little 2 mini fans on the inside, and they just connect right there on the board. And that's the rest of the board right there. So these are the 2 replacement faceplates we're going to be using. This one right here has got the cutouts for the Ethernet and the USB. That's going to go up right there. And the second one has got the power adapter cut out right here, and that's going to go on that side. Just be aware that once you actually open this, it voids any warranty. So if you're going to be doing this, just bear that in mind. So there we go, faceplates have been changed. That's that one right there. And that's the second one right there. So that's it in terms of modifications for the miner, nothing further needed. So now what we're going to do is get this situated with the external fans. So finally the setup is now complete. So we've got the KS0 Ultra right here standing vertically. On the back we've got the shroud with the fan. Confession time, I put the fan on the wrong way around, so I've turned that around so it blows air in. It was actually blowing it out the way I've mounted it. Anyway, that's sorted. Then we've got the side fan right here. I've decided against connecting it to the chassis and just having it a bit further apart just to see how it goes. So essentially I've got this fan right here connected to the USB of the miner. The USB for this one is actually connected to a spare port I had on the inverter. So we're all good to go. So I'm going to switch this on right now and let's see if it works. Inverter's kicked in. Yep, that's working. And that's working as well. And we're definitely getting some airflow right here coming through. So I'm going to leave this about 15-20 minutes, let it heat up, let it get the hash rate going, and then we'll go and see the dashboard and see how it's doing. So just before we go and see the dashboard, I wanted to check the energy consumption. So right now with the two fans connected, we're getting about 102 watts of power. So here we are on the dashboard, 16 minutes in, and the 5-minute hash rate has dropped to 320 gigahash. I suppose that's expected because that's the trade-off you're going to get with cooling the chips. These units do like to run hot. So let's have a look at the temperatures. So I've been monitoring these temperatures. I've not seen temperature 1 go beyond 46 degrees C, which is excellent. And for me, that's a fair compromise. I'd rather have the temperature low and the lower hash rate, because it's going to be in a shed and temperatures are going to be high. So I'd rather have this running cooler with a lower hash rate than it overheating. I'm also going to try some other combinations, maybe a lower fan speed on both the fans, or maybe take the shroud away. Also, the extra holes that we've got in the face plates now will probably help with cooling the unit somewhat as well. Let me know in the comments if you can suggest any other ideas to get that hash rate up, but without the temperatures going up. I'll leave a link in the description to all the parts I used. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you savages on the next one.